welcome to the next session of the React Unplugged Studies app. Okay, today let's start building the Carpe Diem website from the navbar and a small part of the homepage also. Okay, first let's start the session by installing the White. Okay, to tell what White is. White is a modern front-end build tool that is designed to provide a fast development experience. And this is primarily used for us to build frameworks in JavaScript like React and Vue. So to scaffold your first project, use these commands. npm create white at latest. These lines to create your first white project. So, okay, let me copy it. Now I'll be going into the VS Code and I'm pasting it here. And here I am going to name my first project as React Unplugged Carpe. So if I give enter, so it's asking for the framework. We are using React, so I'm giving enter on that. And then I'm going to use JavaScript. So enter. First, I have to change the directory to inside of the cd react unplugged carpe. So copy it, paste it over here. Then I'm going to give npm install so that all the packages inside of the React Unplugged Carpe will be installed now. Okay, this may take a little while. Okay, once when the installations are done, give the command npm run dev so that you can see the website running into your localhost. So click this local. Okay. This is the default white application that has been there. Okay, so we are not in need of those files. So I'm going to delete all this. Delete. Then in the source folder, we don't want any of these. So I'm going to delete all these. We are in need of the main.jsx file and index.html. Also index.css file. I am going to rename it as main.css. And then remove all these things. For now, this is enough. Now let me start by creating the folders of components and uh, then the pages folder. Inside of here, I'll be creating a navbar.jsx file. This is the main component that we will be using, and also an RFC to make a simple functional structure of the navbar. Then inside of the pages folder, I'll be creating home.jsx file, also an RFC function, so that we can get a simple functional component. Then let me get into the main.jsx file and to say what what has been done over here is inside of the index.html file, which is the public directory that serves as the base HTML file for any of our React application. Here is what it is. It includes a div with an ID of root or app where the React app will be completely rendered. Okay. Then to edit in the main.jsx file, let me start with the editing of the inputting of React DOM. To say what it is, React DOM is used to render a React component into the DOM, that is the document object model of any file, that allows one of your React application to be displayed in your browser. Then let me remove all these. Okay, now we need a component called React router DOM. That is not uh, defaultly inside of React application. So I must get out of this terminal. Okay, yes, and I got to install React router DOM. This React router DOM is used for routing functionalities in React application, and that enables the navigation between different components of the pages based on the URLs actually. Okay, here let me import the main methods that we'll be using from the React router DOM, that are import, create browser router, and the router provider from React router DOM. Then let me also import the home component, which has been located here. If I give enter, it has been imported automatically. Then let me also import the main.css file. Okay, done for now. Then I'll be using the create browser router with a const of variable named router is equal to create browser router. And here I'll be declaring the path as just a backslash that we will be going to giving in the URL. And here is where we'll be importing the element home. I think you can get it, that this is the home component that will be rendered in the main.jsx file if you give the path as just backslash. And to make a little more changes, React down dot, and here I'll be changing it to router provider, and using the variable that we have already declared. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to save the file, and again use npm run dev. Okay, if I go into the localhost, give refresh, you can see this component has been encoded. Inside of the home.jsx file, we have only one thing. That's the home thing that has been written. I'll add something called home page and save it over here. And if I go there, you can see it has been changed to home page. Here we'll be using Tailwind CSS. So basically, Tailwind CSS is a utility-first CSS framework that provides very low-level classes to build custom designs to directly into your web page. So let's start by installing the Tailwind CSS here. So basically, this is the documentation provided for Tailwind CSS. Um, I'll be providing this link in the description without fail. So if I get into the framework guides, the app we are using is white. So if I get into that, these are the command lines that we are going to use to install the app. Let me first copy this. Once it is copied, I'm going to the VS Code. I'm going to paste this. Create a folder called tailwind.config.js in the root directory. So I'm going to copy it. So this has been already created as a default. I have to paste the code that have been copied. So save it now. Then instead of the main.css file that we have created already, we have to put this code, copy it, and main.css. Okay. So save it. Then now it is done. Let us also test it by changing it in the home page. Now if I get into the home page and let's type last name. Let me give emerald 950. This is basically the color of the Carpedium website. So I have given PG Emerald 950. Then text color as white. Then padding as 56 px, for example. Now I'm going to save it. Then I'll be running it npm run dev. So if we get into the localhost and see, so now the tailwind CSS has been applied in the page. Okay, then now let's start working on the navbar component. Before working on the navbar, we have to ensure that this navbar component has been imported in the home page. For that, I'm going to import navbar. So default the page address has also been there. Then inside of this, yeah, now the component navbar inside of the component page, this has been imported inside of the home page. So if I get into here, see, you can see the navbar that has been imported inside of the home page. Now let's go edit the navbar completely. Now let's start defining the components inside of the navbar uh, like we see in the website. So basically now it's like this, and we are going to define it like this. If we get into the VS Code, let's start by defining the nav element. Instead of this, I'm going to give a class name. This is how Tailwind CSS must be implemented. Basically, you have to start with the class name and all the CSS tags. For example, let me give the background as the hex values are these. this is the color. I'm going to give the backdrop blur LG. If you guys wonder what these all means, just go into the documentation of the Tailwind CSS that has been provided. For example, if I type padding, you can explore all the keywords that will be used for padding properties. So if you know the CSS basics completely, you can adapt to Tailwind CSS very easily by using the documentation completely. This may act as a complete beginner friendly also. So you can explore more through this. Then inside, I'm going to create a complete div tag for this. A few properties like, and also I'm going to use flex all example for now to tell you guys simply what a flex is. Flex is a shorthand property that has been used in CSS to set how the items inside of a div tag will be growing or shrinking based on the size that has been divided as the small div components. So it must take up a flex container. So that's why I use flex, and the flex call will be defining the div elements columns. So inside of that, basically we'll be having two div elements. For example, this logo is a div element, and these things are another div element which will be flexed as column wise. That's what we mentioned here. So another div is justify between and with full. This means width is 100 percentage, and MD, for example, MD is used when you go for responsiveness actually. MDW as 1 by 4. Then let me give the padding as 2 for the sake of now. Inside of that, I am going to import the image first. So the image is an asset. So I'll be providing the assets in the description. Here, if you see the asset will be provided as a zip file. First, I'm going to extract it. So this is the assets. If I get into the public folder, I can paste this assets inside of that. Now, if I see there is an image file, Carpe logo, this is in the SVG format, but if you import it, you can see a real image over there. Let me do it. So, to say first, I'm going to use image tag. Inside of that, the sources, Carpe logo dot svg to mention the location precisely. Sets slash images slash JSX. An alternate text, I will do logo to save it. And now I'm going to look into the page. See, you can see the image over here. Let me use class name. Instead of this, I'm gonna give the height as 50 px. And to mention MD, this is basically the responsiveness. To tell what an MD is, let me go into the tail CSS documentation responsiveness. So basically, MD is where the media attribute will be of the minimum width 768 px. If nothing like MD, that is medium basically, is not mentioned, the styles provided will be for the page up till the 768 pixels. That is the minimum width. If we mention medium, the styles inside of that will be more than that for the 768 pixels. Okay, let me get into the code again. Height is basically the 70 pixels. Margin right is 3. Save it. Okay, now it's done. Then I'm gonna use something called link actually. So first let me type and then explain what a link is. For that we have to import it. Import link from the React router doc. So now I'm gonna use link. Okay, done. I'm gonna put this all inside of the link. Now let's save it for now. So to tell what a link is, this allows one to create a navigational link in a React application that is used for routing system to provide that inside of the React router. If I click onto that image, I'll be directing to the page of this where we have defined inside of the main.jsx file, the path of this will be the home page. So basically, if you click on the navbar, that is the logo, it will be redirecting to the home page. If I give some other page, for example, let me create another page. Let's say events.jsx. Then we will give RFC. So let me save this. If I go to main.jsx and the will be events events. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now it's done. I go to the page. I click on okay. In the navbar section, if I change this location to events, save it. If I now click on this image, it will be redirecting to the events page. So if I do not give this, just the backslash and save it, it is on the same page because just the backslash is pointing to the home page alone. So it depends on how well we are defining it. It's nothing restricted to just 2 pages, events and home page. We can create n number of pages. And then let's get into the navbar and let's start working on with the button element. So basically to see what the button element is, if I shrink the page, we can see this is how it appears when we use it in the mobile or if we apply responsiveness. If I click onto that, you can see the home elements, and if I close, it disappears. This is what we are going to implement as a button now. So here, let me define the button. Inside of that, I use data. uh, and I'm gonna use some of the class names and properties and let's three. I'm gonna give the BG color as there is a X value hashtag C. Three pixels now. Whatever color as black, and we're gonna have a rounded edge. MD. Yeah, I'm saving it for now. And I gotta define the on-click statement. As now we are gonna use state. I hope you guys will know what a use state from the before session. So let me first import the use state. Use state, yeah. Use state has now been imported. Good. So I'll be defining first open the default state has been set into the false. For example, to say uh, as a default, the navbar is closed. So if we implement it, you can understand in a better way. So inside of the button, once on click event is used, we'll be using this arrow function as we have taught you how in early sessions. The set navbar open screen navbar open. So S. If you click onto that button, the navbar open has been set to the false through the not operator. If you give not of navbar open, this will be set to true. Once if it is set to true, the navbar will be open. This has been done on the on-click command. Inside of that, we'll be defining whether the navbar is open or closed. Navbar question, we are using a ternary operator here. There, okay. Yes. Here, I'm gonna give class name, but there is another method for you to define the class name as if we are going to repeat a class name again and again, it is simple to define as a variable over here. Const nav style. This is what I'm going to name it. And I'm going to give the text color to black, text size as 2XL for example, and the font must be seen bold. So basically this, I'm going to save it. So here I'm going to use nav style that we have defined earlier. If the nav bar is open, we'll be setting the symbol as and of times. These are the default values provided by the React application for us to use. So paste this again. Here was set and hashtag of 9776. This is just a random value that has been allotted for the element that is going to be visible in the home page. So let's see that later. Okay, once this div is done, let me set path for the div tag where all our home, sponsor, contacts, all those things will be designed over there. Anyway, instead of the class name, I'm going to give a few such values which you can explore it later. I'm going to give flex, row, height must be auto, the overflow hidden, then the padding in the right side should be 2, and, and I'm gonna add a plus and then set if the if you guys see if the nav bar was open, screen size would be full, height of the screen must be full, or else it must be set to hedge of 0. To see that, this must be inside of parenthesis. So this is set for now. Then I'm gonna name these as id equal to navbar default. So here is where we are mentioning the id as navbar default. This id will be called over here, and if we click on the button, this components over inside of this div tag where we will be defining a home page and contact sponsors will be shown, or else if you click onto that again, the snapper default will be collapsed. that is the button will be closed again. So once if we implement it, you guys can understand that clearly. And then instead of the unordered list, I'm gonna put all these things. Home, about, event, contact, and register will be put inside of that now. So inside of an unordered list, I'm gonna give class name as some of the class name will be Miriam Flex and also all. And I'm gonna justify it to the start. Then all the text must be aligned at the center. Then the gap should be approximately given to the 11 or something according to your wish. If we use responsiveness, then let's change the gap size between the elements to 8 or something. Then MD flex must be in the row wise. Then I'm gonna give the screen. Yeah, this is done for now. Then instead of the list, I'm gonna define home first, then another list comes for about, paste it again, to be about, then for example events, one part again. Let's just see this all. Now if we go see here, you can see all these home, about, event section are all visible. Okay guys, to work on now, if I click on this toggle, this is not closing and opening. So let me find what is going on here. And I see, I'll just give space over, save it. And if we go, see, this toggle thing is working completely perfect. I now expand the screen. So this is the structure of the page, and our goal was to toggle it completely. So this is also working perfectly. So to make it look better, I'm gonna add completely Tailwind CSS and stylings over this. So to start with the stylings, so first let me go here and define a font style that is going to be there for all the list items. It is font size must be normal, and its line height should be of 35.6 px approximately. Then text of 50 pixels. If it was shortened, the text size must be reduced to 30 pixels. And to see that the font has also already been there, if you click and you can install it, then add the font name also to be made Yeah. This is the name of the font that has been used. So save it. For now, get down. I have to add a little of the class name to decorate as. Yes. Just I'm gonna add so padding top along to be this, and I'm gonna copy this and add this property to all the lists. Control V. Done for now. Then I'm gonna add the link tag as I have mentioned above that has been used to navigate between things. For whom I'm gonna give the to address to just the slash. Then paste it over here. Yeah. Also here I'm gonna add the class name as the font style variable that I have declared already. I'm gonna save it. Then I'm gonna change everything over here also. For about section, uh, I'm gonna just add an anchor tag. Here I'm gonna mention this as about. So I'm gonna explain it why I'm doing this. Here, if I click on the about section, I'm this is being dragged to the about section, and you can see this has been changed to hashtag about. So if we are defining the home page and all, we'll be using this about section over there. For now, let's just use this hashtag now. Yeah, and then font last name as font style. Yeah, done. Save it. Then for events, same as this. I'm gonna use this copy to the whereas here I'm gonna define as events and change this as events. Yeah, done. So same thing. Here we have been used about, and here for this contact, same thing will be happening. So that it will be changed to contact. The names also is contact. Then save it. Then I'll be defining the register here. For register, a little more stylings are done an extra. So MD is still saving it. Okay, let's have a look at the page. So this is our page. Control S. Okay, here there are few changes. We have to do it. So I see. I'm gonna. I have to add. So B. Here I'm going to redirect this into the registration page. So here I'll be adding a new page called register.js. 6. Define it. Yeah, done. And also in the main.jsx, we have to update this. I change the URL address to register. Here also I have to import it. Register. Register. Yeah. If again go to the register, I can change this to register. So okay guys, to make these all elements to look even more perfect, I have to add a few more stylings over here in the navbar and the div tag. Let us add it now. The next thing is, once I'm done, I'm gonna save it. Just have a look at this. Yeah, now it's completely perfect. To inspect, I'm going to Control Shift I. Yeah, if you click, the toggle button works completely perfect. The size of the text is little small. If you want, you can go change it. Yeah, if you give text, yeah, Control S. Yeah, I think you guys can see it. Now it's completely done. Okay. Uh, I'll be publishing this code into the GitHub. Also, you guys can completely publish this code in GitHub and put it over there. Also, share your codes. And if you guys get any doubt, don't forget to ping us. I'll also show how to publish this in the GitHub page. So I'm gonna open my GitHub account. This is my account. If I give onto this new, we can create a new repository. I'm gonna name this repository as React Unplugged Carpe. Here, this will be stored public, and I'm gonna just create the repository. Okay. So these are the commands we need to follow to push all the codes into this repository. So first, I'm gonna copy the first 3 lines and paste it over here. Control V, yeah, and then copy these all code, copy, then paste it, yeah, push, copy, paste. To follow a few more um, steps to add it, here git add and space. So then git commit as things are added. Then here now give git push origin main. Okay, now all the code has been pushed into your GitHub account. Give refresh. Yeah, you can see all the code are here. And I'll be posting this GitHub link also in the description. If you have any doubt or anything, you can call us and ping us and comment it. And that's it. Uh, See you guys. Until then, we meet again in the next session. Thank you.